Hello, hello. This is Sir David the Bard. I'm hiding here in the Desert News building down here in Utah, in Salt Lake City, in the handicap stall. Now, why is it dark? It's dark because Utah cannot afford now to put on the lights. They are spending more than $2 million to have a law firm take their gay marriage case to the Supreme Court. Now, I just happen to have my outer darkness flashlights with me, and they do seem to work. Now, listen, I have a link down here, and it disappeared. It disappeared. I had that link, and then I went back to look for it in the Desert News. It was gone. So somebody has knocked on the door and get that article off of there. Because I went to the Salt Lake Tribune, and it doesn't even show it. So anyway, take a look at it, and realize that the state of Utah spends the least amount of money per child in the United States for public education. It's number 58 of the states, 61, whatever the lowest number is, Utah is it. Now, they want to hire outside counsel to take their case to the Supreme Court. Let me tell you something. I've told you before in other videos, and if you follow what I say, you'll know this. Only certain attorneys can practice in front of the Supreme Court. You can't be an attorney and just think you're going to take an appeal into the Supreme Court. You can't. In any state, you have to have special credentials, special training, and special knowledge of the court rules, etc. Now, in Utah, I don't think they have one attorney. I don't think they have one attorney in Utah that is licensed to practice before the Supreme Court. Now, let me tell you what they're up against, okay? First of all, an attorney's reputation is basically all they have. When they practice in front of judges, they get a reputation. They're bringing in important cases, or they're bringing in trash. They're rich because they're good, or they're poor because they're poor. When judges see certain attorneys, they're willing to listen to them because they know that they're legitimate attorneys representing legitimate clients with differences of opinion. And an attorney who presents anywhere to a court has to have, of course, a compilation of evidence. Now, here's what the state of Utah is trying to do. I'm not sure it's even going to happen. I'm not even sure it's going to happen. Even attorneys have a limit. Now, the lower class attorneys, their limit and their limbo bar is low. But when you are granted the privilege of practicing in front of the Supreme Court, you don't take turds with legs into the Supreme Court. Those 9 justices are going to look at you and say, what the hell are you doing? Most attorneys, if you pay them enough, they'll do anything. Most attorneys. But I'm telling you right now, those that are licensed to practice in front of the Supreme Court of the United States, they have high standards. They don't want to be taking in cases that are ridiculous because it makes them look stupid. It makes them look like they need the money. Utah doesn't understand this. They have no idea. They're in a bubble. Even the state government is in the Mormon bubble, and they can't get themselves out of it. They're trying to pay someone $2 million to take this to the Supreme Court because they made a few phone calls and found out This isn't a $1,500 retainer case. So anyway, I'm laughing because I'm predicting that they may not even be able to get in front of the Supreme Court. Now, I know how the Utah people are. They say this may cost $2 million. This may cost $10 million. You're going to have to find an attorney who is licensed to practice in front of the Supreme Court, and they want this to be their last case. They're going to take $10 million for it because in history they're going to go down as a turd. But anyway, they don't have to practice anymore, and so they'll take the $10 million, go in and throw the spaghetti against the wall, have the Supreme Court go, God, I don't want to see you back, and he'll say, I ain't coming back. I needed the $10 million. How can a state have its priorities so screwed up? Well, it's Mormonville. They can't think, they lie, they cheat, they steal from each other, they're in a bubble, they don't understand what's going on in the real world, they don't compromise. There's no leadership in the Mormon church. You've got 12 old guys that, could take up a nursing home wing, and to see this kind of money go out, and my little kids in school, and I'm getting notes home all the time about, you need to buy pencils, you need to buy paper, you need to buy this, you need to buy that. They charged my teenager $85 to go into junior high school because they think they can get away with it. They're not funding their schools, and by God, they're not going to raise taxes. But the Mormons will write a check every week for tithing that is 100 times more than reasonable taxes to help the school. A family could pay $100 more a year in taxation in Utah. What is that, $10 a month, roughly $10 a month, and fund the public schools. But they'll write a check for $200, $300, $400 a month to give to the Mormon church to build malls. Where are the priorities? Where's the common sense? Where is the real love? Where is the real hatred? Now, you guys know, I have a lesbian daughter. She came out when she was 14 to me, and we accepted in the family, and she's going to get married here in Utah. She's raised in Utah, and she has a right to get married here in Utah. To spend $10 million to hate my child for something that is genetically oriented. I'm telling you, they're going to find a gene for it, and we're all going to know it's not a choice. It's a gene. Shame on the Mormons. Shame on Utah. And they don't understand. This government in Utah does not understand the way they've gone about this. I think there's 33 other states that have the same constitutional amendment against gay marriage. If Utah, which is in the forefront now, because they go, oh, we're going to stop it, we're going to show the whole world. Well, let me tell you what they're showing the whole world. They're going to go to the Supreme Court if they ever get there, and they're going to get knocked down. The other 33 states will fall like dominoes. Utah will go down in the history books as the leading state that allowed gay marriage. That's the designation historically Utah is making for itself. Utah's law was banged down. 33 other states fall right behind it. So Utah was leading the pack. And there's a saying up in the Yukon with sled dogs. If you're not the lead sled dog, the view doesn't change. It's funny, but it is pathetically sad that they will start to spend $2 to $10 million to try to find an attorney, a law firm, that's going to take this. Now, I'll tell you something else. Any law firm that takes this piece of shit to the Supreme Court, they're going to try to be prepared. They're not going to slam this together overnight like the Utah Attorney General's office has done. They slammed it together for the Shelby and the 10th Circuit, and they got shot right down, and they think they can slam it together to get into the Supreme. A law firm that would take this pig with lipstick is going to have to study it. They're going to have to retype everything. They're going to have to bring in consultants, perhaps private investigators, all types of witnesses, this is not something you do overnight. It's not something you do quickly. And Utah thinks they're going to get in there Monday morning. Tuesday, they keep saying a day or two. It'll be months before a real law firm would even begin to take this in. And I'll tell you something else. Law firms don't like to step into the middle of a shit pond. That's what this is. It's a shit pond. Good attorneys like to take the case from the beginning to the end. After somebody's screwed it up 3 or 4 times and the whole world is laughing at them, what law firm wants to jump in there and be famous in history that they're the ones that took the Mormon case into the Supreme Court and lost their ass? The Mormons are in another world. They're in another world, and they're allowed to do that, but when they hurt the civil rights of other people, then the federal government has a right to come in and say, we don't care how many people voted to hate the gays. You can't hate the gays. You can't do that. It's against the law. And gay marriage, against the law. So anyway, it's interesting to watch, but please hang on to this video because the Bard is giving you revelation. This is not an easy process for Utah. They may never get to the Supreme Court because they might not find somebody who wants $2 to $10 million to have their name in the history book as a law firm that farted its way all the way to the Supreme Court, and the court says, get the hell out of here. This case stinks. Get the hell out of here. Thank you.